Today I'm going to be giving you guys 3 different tips for how to get sub 2 on 2x2. And my global average is around 1.7 to 1.8, and I have an official 2.09 average in competition. So the first tip is regarding your algorithm set. So you should know CLL and EG1 really well, and EG2 is optional, but I would recommend you to learn it so you can have more consistent solves. Try to get most of your cases under 1 second. Maybe there's one or two that are really bad that you can't get sub 1, but generally you want all of your cases sub 1, and some of the easier cases like soon, anti-soon, those can probably be like maybe even sub 0.6. When you're learning algorithms, make sure you can recognize them very quickly during a solve. So these are both soon cases, but you can tell that these two are opposites and these two are opposites, that this is a normal soon case. And you can tell here that this is a different case by these two being opposites and these two being opposites, or these two being opposites and these two when you're in a different angle or you're looking a different way, basically. So, it's this case. Since you guys are trying to be sub 2, I would assume that you already have a good grasp on 2x2 and really efficient layer building and face building. So I would just say try to make sure your layer and face solutions are under 5 moves. That not only helps with your move count, but it also helps with one looking, and that's going to bring us to our next point. The biggest difference between a sub 2 solver and a normal 2x2 solver is how good their one looking is. So one looking is how professional 2x2ers are able to seemingly like not have any pauses in their solves. So during inspection, they're just looking forward to the case, either CLL or EG, and then sometimes they even predict what the AUF is going to be. So there's going to be 0 pauses whatsoever in the solve. One looking is really important for 2x2, and I would recommend you to spend most of your time practicing one looking and at least getting or like one looking 70 to 80% of your solves. I'm gonna have a different video dedicated just for one looking and how to learn it, but I'm just gonna give you a short rundown of how I learned it. So you can start with easy triggers like RU R prime. So here we're gonna do it really slowly. So when we do R, U prime, R prime to solve it, this is what happens to the pieces. So this yellow, red, blue piece, it moves over here. And then this piece, nothing happens to it. So these two are going to be matched together like this. So we're going to do a U prime next, and that's going to move it over, these two pieces over. So then this side is going to be completely solved, and the two yellows are going to be facing upwards. So since we did R on the first move, we're moving this piece up, so the green just moves directly up to here, and then this yellow piece moves down there. So, and then we're going to do a U prime after, and that's going to match these two up. And then when we do R prime again to finish off this piece, we're going to move these two pieces back. So R pairs these two up, U prime, and then this gets solved, R prime. When these two were in the back, they move to the top, and it's a solved cube. So after you understand what happens when you do those 3 moves to the other pieces around it, then you can start drilling like random CLL cases. So I'm gonna just do some random thing, and make sure you're not looking right now. So you're just doing some random case, and then set it up as what you were doing before. And now since we understand how the pieces move, we can try to one look this really simple case. So this piece moves up here, and these two get matched. So I'm thinking there's going to be headlights on this side, and then this piece doesn't move at all. And this piece, when you do an R, it goes up here. U prime, it moves over here. And then when you do R prime, it moves back up to here. So we can see using these colors that these two are going to match, and there's going to be headlights here, and the yellow is going to be facing up here. So then we know it's this case. And that's how you one look. So another really helpful practice technique I used for one looking was solving blindfolded. So what you do is just scramble your cube like normal, and then inspect. You can take as much time as you want, and then you close your eyes before you start solving, and then you can only open your eyes when you're done solving. So we scramble and inspect. I think I'm gonna do yellow, and this can take you can use as much time for inspection as you want, because you really want to spend time with it, so you actually can see where the pieces, map out where the pieces are going. So then you close your eyes when you're ready. All right, so okay, and yeah, you can open your eyes when you're done, and I have a solved cube, and that was a success. So you can record yourself doing this, so you can see if you made mistakes. So say if it was this case, and instead I one looked incorrectly, and I actually did this case, which is these two are flipped at the end, I can go back in the recording and see which case was the actual case, and then I can improve my one looking success rates that way. So for inspection, you want to use as much as you need or can. So during practice, try to use unlimited inspection. Sometimes I even go up to 2 or 3 minutes of inspection when I was first starting out one looking, so I could actually map out every single piece, when the solution for the face was pretty complicated, maybe 6 or 7 moves. So even when you're doing 15 seconds of inspection in competition or practice, you want to use as much of those 15 seconds as you can. So even if you get a really easy case and you see it and you're okay, this is right, this is the right case, and you see it instantly during one looking, you should spend more time just to either find make sure check different color pieces, see if the case is actually right, or maybe you can go see AUF, predict AUF. So just spend as much time as you can during inspection. People think turning speed is super important in 2x2, and they just spam it even if they can't control their turning. So I'm here to tell you that's a misconception, and TPS is actually more important. TPS, or turns per second, isn't only measured in your turns, turning speed, your raw turning speed. It also accounts for the number of lockups, catches you get during your solve. So say you're spamming TPS and then getting a bunch of lockups, it's actually much better to turn slower, at a slower pace where you can control it, and have lower amounts of lockups and catches, which slow down your turns per second, which is really more important than your raw turning speed. So another thing for turning is try to turn calmly during your solves, and don't be overly aggressive. So when you're turning calmly, you're gonna have less pauses, less lockups, yes, and it's also gonna help you just flow better. So when you're going from when you're going from your layer and then to the alg, it's just gonna be much smoother all around. So I think that's a better way to do 2x2 instead of trying to get as fast as an instantaneous turning speed at one point. I think it's much better to have a smoother solve, which has an overall faster TPS. So the last thing I have to say about turning is your pickups. So the pickup time is how long it takes when you start, between when you start the timer and actually start turning the cube. So if we can decrease that time, that's just gonna help you a lot, since in 3x3, 4x4, 5x5, and up, it doesn't really like matter that much, like 0.1 seconds or 0.2 seconds doesn't really matter. For 2x2, it's a really short event, so you want to save as much time as you can. So like good pickups and bad pickups could be the difference between a 2.1 average and a 1.9 average. So to practice pickups, you just need a cube and your stack mat timer. So you set up a simple trigger on your cube, and then you time how fast you can solve it. Alright, so you want to try to get at least under like sub 0.7, 0.6, 0.5. It's better, I would say, try to get to like 0.4 and 0.5. That's like a good place to be for pickups, and that's gonna help you a lot during 2x2, since like it makes up a big part of your solve, like just the pickups. So that's basically all I have for how to be sub 2 on 2x2. If you have any specific questions for 2x2, you can put it in the comments and I'll try to help you out.